Hi, and welcome back to Poltergeist Board Games. Today we're going to be doing a playthrough of Doodlebugs by Legion Wargames and designed by Steven Dixon. So I have this game set up to start. So what you're going to do to set up is you're going to have 4 cups to place chits in. The first one you're going to have for your launched V1s, how many you get to launch. You're going to have one there, cup for that. And then you're going to have a cup for how many fail once they're launched, or that don't launch because they failed. And then you're going to have one for when you get to the flak barrage area, how many get taken out. And then lastly, you're going to have a cup that has what sector, if they get through, what sector they hit. Now, there's an errata piece that you get in here that for the sectors, there's 2 number 4s and 2 number 5s that did not get produced. So what I did was, there's a lot of these fire markers. So I just took 4 of those and I wrote, 2 5s and 2 4s. So, they're the same size as the other ones. And so I just mixed them in there. Then you're going to, so you have your fire markers here. You have your out of control fire track here on the left side. You have your destroyed fighters track here. This is your turn track. On the turn track, you have the planes that come into play for certain dates. So the first time that you get to actually get planes into the mix is on 6/16 at night. You get a mosquito. So you're going to go through this, for a few days until you get some fighters out there. So you have to rely on the flak barrage balloons to take down. And there's flak in here that also gets to attack. So that's that turn track. Then you have a fighter gunnery table here. You have a table here, chart for the number of day fighters and night fighters that you get to use. And then over here you have a gunnery table for your AA. You have your sequence of play here, and then you have your firefighting table. And then in here, you have London, and you have firefighting crews. You have a captain crew for each sector. So there's 6 sectors. You have 6 firefighting squads there. So there's 2, there's a captain, and then there's a regular squad. So each one gets to attack the fire. So when you get an out of control fire is when you're going to have more fires than you do people. But you can't move the captains, but you can move the regular units to assist. But you can only have 3 as a max. So you can move, people around to assist when things start to get heavy. When you have like 3 fires, you can, put someone in there. Then you have to try to remember to move them back so that you don't get overwhelmed in that sector. Down here, you have your V1 holding box. This is where the V1s will start. And then once you pull a chit for how many get launched, they go in the boxes here, and then they progress through these boxes here, and then finally into London if they get past everything. That's it. There's a fighter holding box up there. So when the fighters come into play, they go up there and then they go into play. Then you have the destroyed fighters box up there. And that is all for the, that's it for the tour of the board and how the game is set up. So next we'll start to get into the actual game. So we'll start with the sequence of play, check for reinforcements. We don't have any. Determine the number of V1s that will launch for each Abteilung, which are these spaces here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to pull 4 chits. So mix them up and choose one. So the first one is going to be 3. So we're going to have 3 that start here. And then the next one is going to be 1. And then the next one will be 2. And the last one will be 2. Okay, so then you do the, you determine the number of V1s that fail. So we use this cup here and see how many of them fail and then pull them off the line. So 3 of them. So we'll just take 1 here. And then do 1 and 1. Okay. So we have our 3. They go back into the holding box here. And then we place any available fighters, which there are none. The V1s move to the water square. So they move up. There's no one to contest them in the water square. So they can't, no fighters are attacking. So now they go to the coastal square and they are going to face off against the AA. So we use the AA to engage V1s, roll once for each V1. So we're going to roll, so we have to roll, here we have 2. So we roll 2 D6s. And we get 2 2s, which on here is a miss. So you have to get a 6 to destroy. So they're going to move on to the land. Now we have 1 there. And we get a 1, so that missed. We have 1 there. A 2, so that misses. And we have another one. A 1, so that misses. So now they're on the land. There's no fighters to contest them there. So then they move on to the flak and barrage balloons. So then what we do is we pull a chit from here to find out how many are lost from the flak barrage balloons. So we lose 1. So we'll take 1 from here. All right, so now we have 4 that are attacking. So we now select the sectors that they're going to hit and start fires in. First one is Sector 2. So Sector 2 gets a fire And then once they're done, you put them back in the holding box. So we'll put a fire chit on 2. And the next one is 2 again. So there's 2 fires there. We put a two times fire. The next one is 3. And the last one is 3. There's 3 of each sector in here, and then there's also 4 zeros, and the 0 counts as overshoot, so it overshoots the target. All right, so now we go into the firefighting. So then we have to look at our firefighter table over here. So up here we have 2 crews here, so we have to roll. If we roll a 5 or a 6, one of them gets extinguished. And then so the captain gets a +1 bonus on his die. So what I do is I roll a red for the captain and a white for the regular unit. So then I just add 1 to the red. Okay, so the captain got a 4, which turns into a 5. So 1 fire extinguished, and then the other one is a 1. So 1 fire will keep on burning. So we'll keep a fire marker there. And then we move on to Sector 2. And we got a 5. We got a 5 with the regular unit. And we got a 5 with or 4 + 1 is 5. So both fires get extinguished there. So that is the end of the turn. So then what we do is we go through all those steps again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to advance this to the night time here, so that we can all see when the planes get involved, and go from there, because then it gets more exciting. Okay, we pick up action now. We have just finished 6:15 here, and we are now moving to 6:16 here. So we're going to move this plane to the holding box, and then we are going to and give you a little update. We had a huge amount of fires break out. We have an out of control fire here, so I've moved the out of control marker there. You're allowed to move firefighters, but only if you don't have a fire in your sector. So I've only got 1 firefighter available to move to a sector that really needs it. So I'll be moving him. I had to move him there last turn because there was 3 fires there. 2 of them got extinguished. So a lot of fires happened the last turn, and we are now moving into the next turn, and we're starting to get some help with some fighters. So let's begin by pulling our chits on how many fighters we get, or how many V1s come out. So 4. So that's a lot there. Next one, 0. And the next one, 0. That's good. And a 1. All right, so we have 5 total. Let's see how many fail. Fail to launch. 3. So only 2 are left. So I will just keep them spread out. And then we will move. Oh, now we get to move our fighter. Our fighter can move. He can go into the water. There's different ranges that you can do. You can do close, you can do medium, and you can do long. Close gives you the better advantage to destroy. Um, the obviously the longer out you go, the less chance you have to destroy the V1. So I always try to go for close. The only problem is that you have to. There's some little. It's hard to see, but there's a little. Um, I don't know what you call those, like superscript or something that's above the letter destroyed, and there's like a text footnote that you have to read about it. And if you destroy it, you have to roll, and on a 6, your plane is destroyed, and it would go in the destroyed aircraft. It's a chance you take, but I mean, I think it's worth it to try to, get these things early rather than try to wait until, they're on land or crossing over. So the first thing is we're going to move it to the water square. Now I'm going to interact here with that one. So I roll a die, and I'm going to look on the fighter gunnery table. I get a 4. So a 4 is destroyed, and possible malfunction to aircraft. Roll a 1d6. On a roll of a 6, the aircraft must spend 1 turn for repairs and cannot be used until it returns. And I roll a 3, so he's good. So we destroyed that V1, and then we move to this box. He moves to the AA, and a 2. They miss, so he moves on land, and then to the balloon barrage, and we see if he is lost or not. And nope, he moves on and attacks one of the sectors here. So now we pick which sector. He attacks Sector 5. And Sector 5 has 2 fires on it already. So now it's 3. 3 fires. Okay, so now we have our work cut out for us. So we have 3 fires here and only 2 squadrons, and 3 fires here and only 2 squadrons. So the only person that can move is this guy, so we'll move him to 5 and help out there. So now we have 3 on 3. So we have another out of control fire, so that's gonna move up. All right, so we're gonna go here. So we're gonna roll 2 dice, 1 captain and 1 regular unit. Oh, and we get 2 6s. So that fire's extinguished. So that frees up another unit for the next turn. And then we're going to go here. So we have 1 fire with 2 units. And we get a 2 and a 3, so that's fire will stay. And now we have the 3 here with only 2 units. I got a 6, so that takes out 1. So we're still got 2 fires going there. And then we have the 3 on 3 there. So I'm going to roll an extra die. I get a 6 with the captain, a 4, and a 1. So that's a 1 extinguish. So there's still 2 there. And then 2 there. And I get a 5, which is an extinguish. 5 and a 3. So, all right, so we whittled it down a little. We still have some work to do here in these 2 areas, but we're in a lot better shape than we were. So now we move the turn marker to the next. And then the next. So this plane will go back into the holding box. And then the next day we get more planes. So we get a Tempest, 1, 2, 3 Spitfires, and another Tempest. Okay. So then we're going to go... All right, so now we have to pull our chits to see how many we get. To launch, 3. And then 1. Another 1. And another 1. Okay, now we're going to pull and see how many fail. 1. 1's a favorite number today. So we'll take that out. And now we place our planes. So we get to place 1 there. Number of day fighters available. Okay, so I have 4 day fighters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 day fighters. So I can only place 1 in a water box. So I'll place 1 there, and the rest will go on land. So 1, 2. Actually, I'll place them. I'm gotta place them in the close box. There we go. I placed all of them in the close box. Okay, so the first ones go out to the water boxes. We'll do this matchup here. A 5, so he's destroyed. And the player rolls again. If a 6 is rolled, an explosion gets the fighter. Okay, I rolled that dice right off the table. A 4, so nothing happens there. The plane still stays, and but the V1 was destroyed. The other V1 moves on. This one we're gonna do a 6, so he's destroyed. We have to roll and see if we get another 6. We do not. We get a 5, so that one's destroyed. Then this one moves on, and this one moves on. So now we do the AA. The AA here. So we have 1 here, a 2, so that one moves on. Nothing there. 1 here, a 6, so the AA gets that V1. Then we have 1 here, a 6, the AA gets that one. So the AA is knocking them out. All right, and then we have 1 here that the Spitfire is going to go against, and we roll a 2. So that is a miss. So he moves on. And then we see if he's lost, hits a balloon or flak or whatever. Yep, he's gone. So no plane, no V1s got through. That was a good sector there. So no V1s got through. And and then the next thing I have to do here is at the end I take the number of planes, day planes, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I divide that by 2, which is, so it's going to be 2, and that's the amount of planes that cannot return. So they would have to wait a day because they're busy doing other things. So I'm going to take 2, and what I do is I'll put them in not this next day, but the day after. And then the rest of them go in the holding box. Okay, so now I did that out of order. That should be the last thing. I need to resolve the fires here, try to resolve them here. So we will do this one, roll 2 dice. I get a 2 and a 3, so that fire stays. This one has 2, so we will roll 2 here. Actually, I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do is increase my chances. I'm gonna move a unit from here to here and roll 3 dice. Alright, so I'll roll 3. And I totally missed. Got a 1, 2, and a 1. So we missed there. Those fires stay. And then I have 3 units here. And I get a 2, 3, and a 3. So that's all miss as well. So the fire continues there. Alright, so alright, we did our aircraft. So now we move to the next day and we pick up another aircraft. We pick up another Mosquito aircraft. And we start with our chits. See what we get here. We get a 3. So 3 will start. And then we get the 4. 3, 4. Then we get a 3. And then we get another 3. So they are coming after London this time. All right, so now see how many fail. 4 fail. So take off 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Put them back in the holding box. So 4 fail. Now let's place our planes. We get to 1, 2, 3, 3-day planes. So I can do, it's nighttime, so I can do night fighters in the water there, and then I can only do 1 regular plane there. So then I'll do 1 there, and then I'll double up here. Okay. All right, so now we're going to move to the water box water boxes. Move there, 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 and there. Resolve our fighter battles. So we only have one unit there. And he gets a 6. So that's destroyed. And then see if the explosion destroys them. No. So that goes there. And that one will move on. And then same thing here. A 5 is destroyed. And roll to see. A 5, no. So no, they're destroyed. But these two move on. And then I've got 2 here. A 1, that's a total miss. So those 2 move on. Nothing there, so those 2 move on. Okay, so we have 1 AA there. A 4, that's a miss. So he moves on. We have 2 there. A 1 and a 2, that's a miss. So they move on. We have 2 there. A 6, so 1 gets shot down. 1 moves on. We have 2 there. And those 2 miss, so they move on. All right, now we have 1 V1 and a plane. A 1, that's a miss. So he moves on there. We have 2 there that just move on. And 1 here that moves on. And then those 2 and 1 plane. A 3, that's a miss. So these 2 move on. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 V1s that made it through. All right, so now let's pick the sectors. Or no, we have to pick how many are lost in the flak barrage balloons. 0. Oof. All right, now let's pick the sectors they hit. Okay, so first one is Sector 1, which is here. So he's going to get a 2, fires there. Then we're going to get Sector 6, which is here. So that's 2 of them gone. 1, 2. The next one. Sector 1. And then overshoot, so this is the 0. This is where it overshot the target. So he misses. And then the last one is Sector 3. Oh no, there's one more. Sector 3 gets 1. And then another overshoot. Okay, so we're going to start here. He's only got 1 unit because this other guy's helping out. 2, so that's a miss. So the fire rages on there. We're going to come around to 1. We have 3 fires, only 2 crews, so that's 3 out of control fires. And we're going to roll 2 dice. A 1, a 2, and a 3, so that's nothing. So the fires stay there. Then we have 3 units there and 3 fires. Oof. So we get all three extinguished. A 6, 6, and a 5. Good work. All right, now we go here. We have 3 units and 2 fires. A 1 and a 2, so that stays, and then that's it. So we knocked 1 down. All right, so now we go to the next, or actually we do our planes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 3 planes. So that's 1. One of them has to miss a day. So they'll go here. And then these all get put here. And then we go to the next day. So that's how this game works. You're just going to go all the way to the very end, and then you're going to add up basically how many fires you have, how many airplanes have been shot down, and things like that. And you're going to get like a number of sectors on fire, and it's if you have 2 planes, for every 2 planes counts as a sector on fire. So then you have a chart here of what your victory level is, or the German victory level is. So that is how you play Doodlebugs, and by Legion War, and designed by Steven Dixon. Hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.